At it again with another with another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to color correct and color grade your footage. All right. Once again, working with the same two clips, I'm going to color correct this footage right here. If you look at a skin tone, I mean it looks somewhat the proper skin tone, the proper colors. If you look at all of the background colors, but I'm just going to play around with a few effects to show you guys how to make changes to your clips to get the perfect look that you're going for. When it comes to color correcting footage, it all depends on how you shoot the footage. You know, if you overexpose it or underexpose it, it's going to be harder to color correct, especially if you're not shooting with a camera that shoots in a big size file like a raw format, because you're going to lose a lot of that quality and you don't have a lot of quality to play with to manipulate the colors to get the final product that you want. So I'm going to show you guys the two things that I use to get the perfect colors when it comes to color correction and it comes to the look that I'm going for. So once again, we're going to color correct this particular clip. You're going to go to effects. I'm going to show you two different ways. First, we're going to talk about color correction. And color correction is like, say for instance, if uh, you shoot event and you forget to change the white balance and all of the colors off, meaning that you might have a real bluish tint or a real reddish tint to your footage, and you want to correct those colors to get it to make it look normal, to make it look what the eye saw when you recorded that footage. So if you look at this footage, his skin's tone is does have a reddish tint, but as far as the overall color of the footage, to me, it looks pretty good. But I'm still going to show you the process that I go through to color correct footage when the footage is somewhat off. So once again, you click effects right here in this window. Uh, you go to video effects, you go to color correction, and to color correct, I like to start off using RGB Curve. So you click it, and then you drag it onto the clip, and then you drop it onto the clip. Notice how this red bar comes up. That means that you added an effect to the particular clip, and in order for your timeline to play smoothly, this has to be rendered. So now that we apply the RGB curves to the clip, you want to double click your actual file, hit effect controls, and you'll see the screen pop up. So pretty much what we're going to do with color correction, we're going to move all of the red colors in this clip, all of the blue colors in this clip to get the proper color that I want. I never touch the green and I never touch the masters because the master, it moves all of the red, all of the blues, and all of the greens in this clip. So as we know, RGB stands for red, blue, green. All of the footage that you shoot is composed of those three colors, a combination of those three colors, red, blue, and green. So you have to move these colors around in this particular clip or what clip that you shoot to get the final look that you're going for. So what I'm going to do, I always start off with the red clip, and I start off right here. I either drag it up or down. So what if you drag it upward, you're actually adding more red to this clip, and if you drag it down, you're removing some red from this clip. So let me give you an example. So you just click it right here. See the white dot? I don't know why it's not moving. There we go. So as you can see, my clip is getting way more red, and if I take it down, it's going to get more bluish greenish. So it's kind of look green now because I'm removing a lot of the redness from that clip. So that's a little too green for me. So what I like to do is just take a little bit of the red out. Right there, that looks pretty good. And I go to this portion of the clip, and I either move this up or down, or I leave it the same depending on the changes that occur when I move this particular portion of the clip. So now it's getting more red. Let me move it down. More green. All right, still a little green. And this takes time. It's nothing that you can pick the certain sweet spot for every clip. You have to really mess around with each individual clip to get it to your liking. So that looks pretty good to me. So same thing, I'll do the same thing, go to the same spot with the blue portion of the clip, and I do the same exact thing until I get the look that I'm going for. So now I'm moving all of the blue portions of the clip, and now that looks pretty decent to me. All right, still a little blue. All right, now that looks the best. So you can do, I'm going to show you before and after so you can see the difference. All right, this is with the effects applied, the RGB curves applied. So these are the changes that I made. And if you click on the FX, which means either effects on, if it says FX, or if you click it, the FX is going to go away. That means, or a line goes through it. That means that effect is off. So this is how it looked before. This is the after. So you can see now more of the red in the clip, and I added some blue, and now that looks more realistic. So this is color correction, meaning if you shoot it in the wrong white balance setting and it has a certain tint, and you want to correct that tint to make it look more natural, then that's color correcting. You're correcting the colors of the clip. That's what I did. It had a red tint. I removed the red, and now it looks more natural, more normal. Because nobody in real life looks red. So that's color correcting. So let me delete that, and let's talk about color grading a little bit. So to delete an effect, you click on it, whatever effect you want to delete, hit the delete button, and it goes back to the default. So let me talk about not color correcting, but color grading. So color grading is what a lot of filmmakers talk about when it comes to making something look cinematic, making something look more filmic. You take the footage and you manipulate the colors to get the desired look or the desired effect that you want to to give it the best possible outcome for your liking. So for that, I don't use RGB curves. I use a three-way color corrector. So the same way you apply the RGB curves is the same way that you apply the three-way color corrector. So click that, drop it on the footage. Once again, you'll see the red bar come up because it needs to be rendered after you make the changes so it can play smoothly in your timeline. So once again, you click on the effects control, go to three-way color corrector, and now you will see these three colors pop up. You see three of them because they each control something different. Highlights, it controls the light parts of your clip. Normally, if you're shooting something outside, there would be a sky. So all of the white, really light, bright colors, if I move these around, it will only change the lightest colors in it. Midtones, more so skin tones, or the how can I put it? The not really bright colors, not the really dark colors, but the middle colors. That's why they're called midtones. So these would change more so the skin tones, not the blacks, not the extreme whites, but pretty much everything in between. Shadows, exactly what it means, the darker colors of the clip. So what you do, you move these three parameters around in the color wheel to get the desired look of your clip by changing the highlights, midtones, and the shadows. And if you notice, they have a color around it. So if I move this wheel towards this color, all of my highlights will become somewhat this color. If I move it to the yellow, my highlights will become yellowish. And if I move the midtones to the green, all of the midtone colors would give it a greenish tint, so forth and so forth. So you pretty much play with these three parameters to get the overall look that you want. So let me give you an example. We're going to start off with the highlights. And you don't necessarily have to move all three of these to get the looks. You might just have to play with the shadows of the midtones, or the shadows and the highlights, or just the midtones, or just the shadows, or just the highlights to get the desired effect. It all depends on what you want to do, how you want to display your project. So let me give you an example. Midtones, let me move it to the yellow. And the closer that you move it to a particular color, the more extreme that the color gets. So now you don't see much change in that clip. Let me move the midtones. So now you see, remember I said the skin tones turn red. So if I move this down, you're going to see it get less and less red because it's getting less and less extreme. So this is a barber video. You wouldn't have to color grade this. It's pointless, but I'm just showing you how it works. So if you want to move it toward this color, get like a greenish tint, and that kind of gives it a somewhat of a cinematic feel. So let me move the shadows. And you basically play with these parameters until you get the look that you're going for. So now it went from being like a regular clip to more like a kind of a cinematic feel, a cinematic look. So that's what they mean when they say color grading footage to get the clip, the desired look that you're going for. So you just play around with it until you get the actual look that you're going for. So it's kind of like a desaturated look, somewhat of a cinematic feel. So let me play that clip. And notice that it wasn't playing smoothly, it's playing really choppy. Once again, that's what happens when you see the red bar on the clip, because it needs to be rendered. So let me show you the before and after. That's the before, that's the after, and once again, you can always still play with these parameters to get whatever look that you're going for, and that's how you color grade. So recap the difference between color correction and color grading. Color correction is when, say for instance, if I shot this clip and it looks like this, and I wanted to give it more of a natural look, how it looks when I shot it to my naked eye, I will color correct these colors by moving the reds, the blues, and the greens around in this particular clip to get the look that I want. Now you can use the three-way color corrector to color correct if you like, but I just think the more simpler way is to use the RGB curves. So now let's talk about color grading. Color grading is when you take a clip that you shot 9 times out of 10 with a flatter profile, and you manipulate all of the colors in between that clip to get that desired cinematic and filmic look that you're going for. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Y'all take care.